Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us.
Hey fans, welcome to another episode of Crazy Women Country, and today we have our amazing friend Ash Taylor. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be back. With y'all. Yes.
I missed you.
I
missed you.
I missed you. It's wonderful. I love my crazy women. They're awesome, and I feel like we need more of you guys out in the world. So happy to be here.
We need to start spreading the craziness and have more ignorance.
It's the normal women that I find a little weird. You know, the crazy ones are kind of more my cup of tea, right?
You see these normal women walking around, you go, really? These women have got it all together, and you're thinking, yeah, that's just not right.
Yeah.
There's going to be some crazy at home.
Yes, we know what's real. We know.
Yeah. So tell us, what have you been up to since the last time we spoke?
Oh man, I feel like life goes so quickly. I'm trying to think back to the last time we spoke, but honestly, I've just been really good, but really busy. And, that's a good problem to have. I think it keeps me out of trouble, but I've been putting out a lot of new music. So basically I put out last summer, I put out a song called Cigarette, which did really, really well. And then this past fall, I put out a second song called Stuck on Indiana, which I actually wrote about my husband. And that song did really, really well. So it got me my first billboard in downtown Nashville. So we got to drive up to downtown, and there was my big mug on a billboard. I also, I thought it was hilarious because, of course, we're all out there taking pictures, and my friends are texting me being like, oh my gosh, like I'm, at work or whatever. And I look and like, there you are on the billboard and whatever. And what I think is so funny is not planned. My younger brother, Harry, actually lives here in Nashville, and he works at a Starbucks. And it so happened that the billboard was right across the street from the store that he was working at. And he doesn't even work in that store like all the time, right? Like funny. he kind of travels to different places. So yeah, he worked at the store for like one day, and he literally looked up and saw my face on a billboard across the street and texted me and was like, what the heck? Come on. So kept me humble. He's like, and people are like, isn't that your sister? And it's like, yeah, but no, I've been good. And then, we put out a bunch of music videos, a bunch of music. Everything's going great. The music video too for Stuck on Indiana is actually about to hit 20,000 views on YouTube. Nice. And it's just been great. So I've just been busy writing a lot of new songs, putting out a lot of music and videos and different things. And we also last fall went on, I should say last summer we started it, but we actually went on a tour towards basically the end of 2024 for about 5 months. We called that the Stuck on Indiana tour, and it was great. I mean, we were everywhere. We kicked it off actually in Fort Wayne, Indiana at the Sweetwater headquarters. So we did that. And then from there, I mean, we were in Kentucky, Ohio, of course, Tennessee. We went to California for a week, played some shows. I mean, we traveled to a bunch of states here in the U.S. and just got to play some great music. And 2025 is not slowing down. So yeah, so I haven't been lazy, I guess, since we've last spoken. Let me put it that way.
We can never say that you were lazy. Never.
Oh,
never.
Well, thank you, friend. Thank you.
And obviously mentioning hubby, we have to give him a bit of a promotion, don't we? Because he's got this amazing podcast. It's a podcast, isn't it? I've got the right thing.
I mean, you could call it a podcast. It's technically, he has an amazing YouTube channel. Is really how it all started. So my husband Chris, so he's an incredible health story, but when we first met, he was actually a little over 400 pounds, and he found the carnivore diet, and essentially he's lost over 130 pounds to date, and completely changed his life, got rid of anxiety, depression. He's a Totally different person. I myself started also doing a low carb diet, and I've lost a little over 100 pounds. So it kind of just really changed our life. And my husband is an incredible cook. I mean, he always jokes and says you don't get to be 400 pounds by accident. I mean, the boy can cook. So yeah, but he was so excited, clearly to have this change his life and turn his health around and all this stuff. So he actually started making recipes for people on like a keto carnivore low carb diet, because sometimes when you're only eating animal products that can get really boring, like how many steaks can we eat. So he started a YouTube channel about 2 years ago, and he's honestly just killing it. So he's actually writing his very first cookbook right now, which will be out internationally. So see, you could even pick one up wherever you're at. But yeah, yeah, no, but he's writing his own cookbook. He has a super successful YouTube channel, and I do stuff on there with him. So if we always say that if you like good food and good music, then you have found the right couple, because yeah, because we do music, of course, full time. That's my full time job. But then I also go over and help him with his YouTube channel and his podcast, and it's wonderful. I mean, honestly, we just kind of combine what we do together, and it's interesting too, because my husband Chris is actually my lead guitar player and band leader. So when he comes over here to my side, I'm the boss, and we work together though to kind of make music and do our thing. And then we go over to his YouTube channel, and then he's the boss, and I'm just there. But but it's a lot of fun. We kind of get to do everything together, and we just love to help people and spread joy, whether it's music or food, and hopefully help encourage people to change their life and be the best version of themselves they can be.
Awesome. So we had to give him a plug because he's amazing.
Yes, Chris Cooking Nashville is the name of the channel. So Chris Cooking Nashville on YouTube.
Make sure you check it out for some amazing food.
Yes,
I've seen the pictures.
They're good. They're good. I eat it every day, so I mean, there's that. Right?
It's so do swap places for a few days.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down.
So tell us, we heard a little rumor. A little birdie told me you could be starting a podcast.
Someone told you that? Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm really excited. So basically in June, so next month of 2025, we're basically going to be launching a brand new podcast, and it's called Ash-Phalt. So that's ASH-PHALT, like asphalt, but Ash-Phalt. But it's really great. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I feel like when your name is Ash, you got to be punny and
you've got to have something quirky going on.
Always. We're here to have fun, right? We're here to have fun. But yeah, so we're going to be launching this podcast, and it's literally just all about life on the road. So, I'm going to be sharing my own stories and experiences, but also we're bringing on different guests, and we have already just so many incredible guests lined up, but we're going to interview everybody from touring musicians, like myself, basically what we would call hired guns here in Nashville. So like people who have played drums for people like Elton John. And so he's going to come on and talk about what it was like touring with Elton, and, all these different things. We also are going to have some veterans coming in to tell us about what it's like to actually be a soldier and take, do their tours over in like Afghanistan and Iraq. We have traveling nurses. We have bus drivers. We have basically, if your life happens on the go, we are having you on to talk about it, and I think it's already just so much fun. I'm having a great time with it. But the kind of the point of this podcast is, if you've ever wanted a peek behind the curtain of what it's really like to live on the road, then it's for you. But also, if you do live life on the road, this podcast is also for you, because I think it's kind of like, I've gone out for years now, and I've toured and been super blessed to do that. And I've met some of the most incredible people because of it. But, there's also things like being someone who lives my life that way. I wish there was someone who would have told me the honest truth of what it's really like, or tips on like how I could have stayed healthy, whether that's physically, mentally, just emotionally, and just, kind of like tell the funny stories and the, oh my gosh, you won't believe this, but also like, maybe we could help some folks, that live that lifestyle to have kind of their own community. So I am really excited to be launching it. It will be on, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the things. So yeah, if that sounds like your thing, definitely stay tuned.
Awesome. It sounds amazing.
Well, thank you. I've had people for many years tell me that I should start a podcast.
Mm,
And I don't know, I guess maybe just the timing was never right. And I literally had this idea probably about 6 months ago in the middle of a tour.
mm,
And because everyone like I would be so tired. Everyone just wanted to hear my road stories. Like it's like, the party joke. You just
yeah,
show up and everyone was like, well, what happened? What happened when you were in California? And what was that like? And
yeah,
then of course something crazy would happen because it always does. And
of course.
people just love those kinds of stories. And so I was like, man, I should do a podcast about that. And I'm excited though. So thank you for asking. I'm glad the little birdie told you.
See, we're on the we're in the know us. We're in the know. No,
Yes.
I think it sounds amazing actually because we always think, as fans that being on the road is so much fun and it's like, you go out and do all this, but there's
Mhm.
always the hard side to it, being away from family, being away from friends, you know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Do you tour with your pooch or does he stay at
Yes.
home?
Yeah. Yeah. See, great question for the podcast. That could be a whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your
If
dog.
Now I will say it depends. So if we're going somewhere like, for example, where I live in Nashville, I can if it's like a few hour drive, like to a
Mm,
different state,
yeah,
then that's cool. And if I know, especially with, traveling with the dog, it depends on what type of show I'm doing. So if
yeah,
it's just kind of like oh, yep, just a show this night at this venue, cool. We bring her because then I'll
yeah,
have the time to basically be with her and take her places and whatever. So
yeah.
she does come with me. However, to be a responsible dog parent, I also then have a wonderful friend named Scotty, who's actually a wonderful singer songwriter here in Nashville. He's like my best friend, but he actually will watch her if it's like, hey, we're flying across the country, we're playing a festival. And so, with festivals, like, again, people maybe don't understand, but it's like I just played a festival in California at the beginning of this month. So we were just out there. I woke up super early in the morning. I think I woke up at 8 a.m. It's like
Mm,
you basically have to get fully dressed, right? You have to
mm,
warm up, pack up your gear, then you drive to where the festival's at. You're there all day setting up merch, you're doing sound check, and then you're doing like interviews and stuff between, and then you have the show, and then
mm,
other artists are playing. I mean, it's like a
yeah,
whole thing. So I got to the venue, not even just like woke up, but I got to the venue I think around 10 a.m. and I left at about 3:30 the next day.
yeah,
And that's like, so, but knowing that for some people maybe they go, oh, I should not bring my dog when I play that type of
yeah.
show. But yeah, but I love when my puppy dog gets to come on the road. And if I can't bring my dog, if anyone is listening and comes be like, oh, I'm going to go to an Ash Taylor show, bring your dog if you can, because it will make me happy. I love the dogs. I'm all about them.
We all are, I haven't got a single dog with me. Can you believe that? All four of mine have just deserted me. That's just nice, isn't it?
Well,
I
they
have
missed
four
out to get
dogs
some.
and all four of them have deserted me.
Yeah, they missed out on their chance for me to give them some pets and scratches through the
I
screen because
know.
I
I
would
know.
have I would have talked to them. I would have said
I know.
hello.
It's terrible. I tell you what, they're just, I'm loyal. I'm loyal, my dogs. They're probably found somewhere for food. Food. Not
Oh
like
yeah, I know they're over there looking. Yeah, mine is my dog is literally so I'm up in my office right now. We call it the studio, but it's like my office where we do interviews and film stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I can tell. So I put my dog outside of the room and she looked at me real sad. And so, but I can hear that she's putting herself up against the door. So she's ready. Like the moment I'm done, I'll open the door and she'll be like,
Yeah.
hello. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, your dog is gorgeous. I gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I have to tell everybody, the first time we met Ash, she had we found the most amazing song about cake. I mean, come on. There's not many people who can write a song about cake that was just as amazing as that song. I still
You.
love that. I will never forget that. I love that song.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
That was awesome. That
Yeah.
was awesome. The fun song about cake. Yeah.
No, it's part of, I mean, I don't know. I joke and say I'm a weirdo, but I feel like most of my songs, if you really break them down that I write, are all just really just three chords and the truth. And, Cake is a song that I wrote years ago, back when I was dating a guy, and he actually
Yeah,
stood me up on my birthday.
yeah,
And I remember being around some friends, they were like, what are you going to do? I mean, like, how do you handle this guy just leaving you, high and dry? And I may have been drinking a little bit. And I said, I don't know. I just want a man to look at me like I look at Cake. And we all laughed. And I woke up the next day, I dumped the guy, and I wrote that song. And, it's so funny. I mean, I put out so much music, and we have so much more coming out too. But that song, I never thought I would ever play it out because it was so stupid. I thought no one will like this song. It is so dumb, but it's so dumb. Maybe it's brilliant. So I
yeah,
played it for some friends one time, and they died laughing, and they said, you have to play that every show.
you have
So
to.
I think it's hilarious. I have so many women till this day who will, on their birthday, send me videos of them singing along to that song and stuff. I mean, people love that song. And it makes me so happy, though. Like, for you to bring, because that was for me so long ago,
Yeah,
right? And I put out so much other stuff, which is good. But it's nice to know, I think, that my old stuff still resonates with
that
people.
is
So they're
great.
like, I love that song. Like, it
It
just makes
is.
me happy.
It's so tongue in cheek, and you have to say, good country music has that, has that to it, and that is just a great song. That
Well,
is.
thank you.
That
And
is.
I think something I never even realized, I think up until a few years ago, you're talking about tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
So, I grew up in Bakersfield, California, and so that's the home of Buck Owens and Merle Haggard and Dwight Yoakam, and it's kind of that Bakersfield sound type of a thing. And one of my favorite artists, and someone I am so influenced by, is actually Buck Owens. And
Mm.
so if you listen to Buck Owens' catalog, he has so many. I mean, almost every one of his songs is tongue in cheek. It's fun, and it's like very guitar driven, but it's all tongue in cheek. And
Mm.
so I think for me that just comes so naturally because it's like that's what I grew up listening to,
Yeah,
and I love the tongue in cheekiness. And for
definitely.
me, it's fun as a writer to put my mind in that set and just you know get sassy.
Well, you get the message across, but in such a fun way that people will always remember it, and they're always
Yeah,
going to love it because it keeps coming back. So I love it.
yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you still love it. I'll have to add that to the set list at my next show now, just
Oh,
to.
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
Yes, yes.
You're gonna have to send it to me after you sung it. Someone's got to record it so I can.
All right, I can do that. I can definitely do that.
I love it. I still was so amazed that someone had written a song like that. I was just like, but we're just meant to be friends. Just meant to be friends.
Thank you. Well, I think now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys named yourselves Crazy Women Country after, is it the Brandy Clark song, Crazy Women?
It was kind of getting around that, yeah, because we both met on her website as fans of her, and we went through so many names. So it was like Crazy Women Country. It works. So
It
yeah,
totally works. Yeah. Yeah, because I think when I first like discovered you guys, I mean, I'm a massive Brandy Clark fan.
she's
Like massive. Like she is such a big influence on me, and I adore her. And I've actually seen her live in concert
yeah,
more than anybody else ever. So I love her. But I remember when I first came across you guys years ago now, I remember seeing the Crazy Women, and I immediately was like the Brandy Clark song, Crazy Women. I'm like, these girls are cool. Like, we're gonna be friends. Like, come on.
yeah, definitely. And we
Yeah.
met, we met. I don't know, just by chance, and it just kind of went. It was Donna's crazy idea, and I was like, yeah, yeah, let's do it. And in my head, I thought, 6 months, and it's not going to go anywhere. And we've been doing this, what, 4 or 5 years now, something like that.
Oh my gosh. Well,
And it's been
congratulations.
so much fun, so much fun. We have met so many amazing women. So yeah, it's just been good. So it's been, and this year we've been going back to see some of some people that we haven't spoken to for ages, like yourself and a few others, because time just disappears, and it's like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So it's good, and
Yeah.
we've now got a radio show as well, so that's even better. So
That's so awesome. Good for you guys. I'm really happy for you all, and I love everything that you do. And I know I think I speak for a lot of, us female artists out there. I think it means so much though that you guys do things like the radio show, the podcast. I always know that like when I put out new music, I can share it with you, and just appreciate like the help and the support, because truthfully, it's like this job is not for the faint of heart. So to have someone in your corner, like, you guys, it's like, man, that makes a big difference. So thank you for all y'all do.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing it. I must admit, people who go into the music industry have to be tough, because it's hard work. You have to keep fighting to keep going and keep going, and and how many people, obviously not trying to put a damper on anything, but how many people don't actually make it? People work so hard for years and years and years and years, and they're kind of teetering on the edge of just mega stardom, or just, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's crazy, and there's so many different voices out there. There should be so many more famous people, but we kind of stick to, you know what I mean? It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think I couldn't agree more. And I think too, a lot of it, like for me, comes down to, what does success look like for you?
Yeah.
Right. Like, so for some people, like they would love to be the next Carrie Underwood or Morgan Wallen. Maybe some people like myself are like, hey, if I get there, that's cool. But I'd like to be Brandy Clark when I grow up, that's, and so there's so much that goes into it. But yeah, and then there's so many voices that are telling you, hey, you got to post on TikTok. Oh no, don't do that. So it takes a lot of, I think, being very tough and knowing that you're going to be told no, and that's okay. Use that as motivation to go better yourself or to whatever. But I think a lot of it really comes down, as I've done this now, for years, a couple of years now. It's like, I think a lot of it comes down to really knowing who you are. And if you got that figured out, then I think it makes the rest of the journey a lot better. I mean, I did not know who I was when I first started. I mean, I moved to Nashville to write songs for other people. I never in a million years wanted to be an artist. I never said that. I literally moved here because I love to write songs that are fun and tongue-in-cheeky, and I like to tell stories, and like that's who I am. And then it was someone in the industry, followed by then several other people, that told me, like, you're an artist. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? And they're like, you're an art. I don't know what that means. So, for me, it's like, I mean, I have failed, I have stumbled into things, but if I make a mistake, I go, okay, what can I learn from it? Right. And then I think if you really just have a good sense, though, and I think as you just naturally get older, I think you get a better sense of who you are. And it just makes it makes the music industry maybe a little more, I'll say, pleasant to navigate, if that makes sense. So hopefully by sharing that, like, if someone's listening that's also a singer songwriter, like, and just really struggling, because this thing, it's tough. And
a hard world.
And going back really quick, if I can, to the podcast, like I was saying, it's like, it gives people a real behind the scenes look in what is it like to be a touring artist, right?
Yeah.
It's not glamorous. Now, it's awesome. I wouldn't trade that job for anything. It's what I love to do. But you're probably going to be like, this chick got to be crazy, because you're telling me all these wild stories and all this stuff, and you're sleeping in a Motel 6 with some bugs, and you're doing this and you're doing it. But it's like, but that's the lifestyle, and that's what I love. And so, but maybe like sharing my own experiences or having other people share theirs, it's like, maybe there's like someone just starting out who's just about to start touring, and who's just really getting into the industry. And it's like, listen to my podcast just for the sake of, let me prepare you, and like, let me tell you what I wish someone would have told me. Because it's not as glamorous as we think, and that's okay. But I just think we should be honest and let people know what they're getting into.
Yeah, I think as fans, we always think it's a glamorous lifestyle. Oh, you're going around the world, you're doing this, you travel first class, and not everybody quite has that easy.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. And that's I'm just, again, it's like, I'm country music is my life, so I love that whole analogy of three chords and the truth, which is kind of what I try to make my songs about. I mean, which is why we have songs like Cake and Stuck on Indiana about my husband, and they're all the truth according to me and how I see the world. And I put three chords in all of them. Now, maybe if I feel real full of myself on a day, I feel fancy, maybe I put four, but it's mainly three chords in the truth. And with like the podcast and everything else that I'm doing, though, I'm just really trying to be real and honest and vulnerable and authentic, and just honestly just say the truth. And I think be kind of like the change you wish to see in the world. And that's something I wish we would see more of, is just people being real and honest and truthful.
I think the problem is we see so many fake personas of people, don't we? What they perceive that other people want them to be, rather than what they should, who they are,
Yeah.
type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and there's so many beautiful people, and we're all so different. It's like be yourself. And, it's like I'm clearly not perfect. And I'm going to tell you something right now as we're sitting here, taping this interview. I have a little makeup on and all that. I got my slippers on underneath, so even if we all look put together online, it's like, listen, like I'm sitting here in my slippers. I just got done scrubbing, cleaning my house. So like literally an hour before this interview, I was doing laundry and scrubbing toilets. Like I'm just a real person.
Oh,
Just
Ash Taylor's normal like the rest of us.
yeah, exactly. I'm like that. I'm just normal. Like I'm just telling you how it is. Like it is what it is though. But I think that's we're all human. It's one thing we all have.
You have to remember that.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
That is very, very cool. I must admit, I saw something on Facebook or something about how so many people are doing their photos out with AI and everything else. I mean, it's going to get to a stage where people are going to go missing, and you're not going to find them because you haven't got this real photo of somebody. Do you know what I mean? You got all these fake photos where they look amazing. You're like, we're never going to find anybody. They're just going to
it's wild. It's wild.
Oh, that's I love talking to you. We could just sit here and talk all day. But
I don't know.
I don't think I'll be too impressed by that one. So, tell us, what has the rest of 2025 got in store for you?
Yeah, so it's been a really busy year so far, and I'm really grateful for that. So, like we already talked about, clearly launching the podcast, which I think will be really fun. Also, so I went in the studio. I've been in the studio a bunch. So I'm going to be releasing starting this summer a whole bunch of new music, and they're all just a lot of new songs. I think I've written all of them by myself, and I am genuinely so excited for people to hear the new music that I am working on, because I truthfully think it is the best that I've ever done. And some people may feel that way about, like the best song you've ever written, but I truthfully am really proud of these songs. And I think, again, I just know who I am a lot more as an artist and kind of what I want. So I'm just overjoyed. So we have lots of new music coming out, the podcast launching, and then we're also still touring throughout the year. So if people want to check out tour dates, just go to ashtaylor.com. But yeah, we're traveling to several states this year, touring, playing shows, doing all that fun stuff, and it will be good. It will be a really good, busy year, and honestly, for me, I'm in a season where I feel like I have so many projects and so many great things that I'm creating and putting out to the world that I just kind of feel like I need more hours in the day. But it's a really good problem to have. It is. I'm basically not planning on sleeping for the rest of 2025, so I can just create and do my thing. But it's exciting. So and I will say one thing I've really enjoyed is on all of my records. Let's see, I guess from 2020 onward, something that I've actually done, which I know not a lot of artists, pretty much at all that I know of, actually do this. So, when you record in Nashville, maybe you know this, maybe you don't. When an artist steps in and they're recording their materials, you of course hire what we would call session players, right? So it's like this guy plays the drums, this guy plays the guitar, whatever. So one of the things I did in 2020 is I recorded an acoustic record where it was just me playing my rhythm guitar, and I did my vocal, and then my husband Chris, who's my guitar leader and band leader, played little lead parts on top of it. And it was the most fun I've ever had making a record. And I kind of, Nashville is always like, hire the session guys, do this, do that, because they're excellent. They're incredible musicians. Like, wow, these guys are awesome. But we started doing this thing from 2020 onwards then, from the experience where I actually have started playing guitars on all of my records. So if you go back and if you listen or whatever, now in Nashville we're considered crazy, but it's been a lot of fun for me. It's honestly therapeutic. So as you're listening to records that I put out past 2020, it's literally me and my husband Chris, and we play all of the guitars. And then like lead parts and everything, him and I trade lead. We, do rhythm, we do all that. And then Chris actually does all my harmony parts. So so it's something I've really enjoyed as we've, kind of changed things up over the years and whatnot. And so I kind of like being in a studio for hours trying to figure out parts and whatnot. It's really become like one of my new passions. And of course, then with that, I can justify buying any guitar that I pretty much want. Because I'm like, well, we could use that on a song. I mean, that one song, oh, that'd be good. Yeah. So, but no, it's been like a good, I would say like probably my new favorite hobby, my favorite passion, just to actually not just write the songs and sing the songs and tell the story, but dig a little bit deeper. And, it's like if I wrote it, like, let me play the guitar part. Let me tell you how this goes. Like, and just kind of be a part of that from the studio perspective has been something I've really enjoyed and something you're going to hear a lot more of in my new releases coming up.
Cool. I'm excited about that.
Thank you.
And also, peoples, if you want to know more about Ash, obviously check out her website, but also join her Bad Ashes. How cool is that? That's the best name ever for a fan club. So, yeah. If you want to be an Ash fan, you've got to be a Bad Ashes.
That's right. Yes. The Bad Ashes. They're awesome, man. Such a great fan club. Couldn't ask for better.
That is the best. That is the best name. So I'm going to have to say goodbye, I guess. I'm going to cry.
Oh, no.
We do one of these every week because we'll just have so much fun. But this has been amazing. So make sure you check out the interview, guys. Also, come back later and check out our 20 crazy questions with Ash. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Adios, guys. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.